On the workbench today, a Ubiquiti Cloudkey G2, the non-plus edition, the small one. Had it in a rack mount and it would not turn on anymore. It was powering at PoE and would not do anything. Plugged in USB-C power and it actually started to flash, but wouldn't do anything. And the suspect is the internal battery that goes bad in these, and we're gonna take it out and see where we get. So, interesting thing, just wanted to say before I continue, so ours was mounted in the rack slot, and I pulled on this trying to get it out, and I could not get it out. And I saw someone else suggest this. What I had to wind up doing was putting it on the floor, put my feet on the rack ears, and push the Cloudkey slightly to the short side there, and then pull on it to get it out. Now, when I did that, I did not know it at the time, but I boogered up the connection to the front. And yeah, so you know, honestly, I don't care. You know, the screen fits in that hole anyway, so as long as the unit's functional, the only thing I'm gonna lose on that is just this port, and I didn't use it anyway, so all good. First thing you do is go to the back side and preferably heat this up on the back side. That black plate is just glued to the back, and you have to take the plate off to access screws. Excuse me. So we're gonna take a heat gun, heat it up a little bit, and then pry along the edges with a spudger here, and we're gonna pry this back plate off. Be careful, just go very easy and go around and just keep working around until the plate comes off. And we're gonna do that. Then we're gonna turn around and do the front also. And once we do that, then the guts will slide out and push from this way, get the guts to come out. So with the back panel now off, there's 4 screws. Take those 4 screws out, and that silver plate here on the back will come out. And then after that, you can move to the front. So after you take the screws out, you can get this back plate off here, as you see, and there's the guts from the back. Okay, so after you get the back off, you can move to the front. So the same thing with the front. You hit the front with the heat gun a little bit, can help it. I actually hit mine a little too much. I have a little melted place here on the front. But anyway, you do that, and you take a spudger. I was using a metal one. And you basically, you get right in between there, like so. Start working around, and then you can get under it and ease around under it, and be very careful because you've got the display there. But you can take that display off. Now I've already taken this one off, but underneath the display, take that off, and there are 2 Phillips head screws that are left and right down there at the bottom. And those screws have to be taken out for the unit to be able to push through from the back and come out. So when you do that, you've got to be careful of this connector here, and you'll see this in a minute. When you push that through, the cable that holds that connector, if the battery inside is swollen, can break off because it's under pressure and it can't go nowhere. I broke mine. You'll see in a minute. Okay, so I slid the guts, the internals out. This is the screen here. And this is the back. So I slid that out of this casing like that, like I pushed through to make it come out the front. And when I did, this connector right here, if you can see it, I'm sorry for my shakiness, but the pins there are supposed to be soldered to this guy here. And yeah, so that came off, and the reason I'm guessing that it came off is because of this battery being all swollen like it is. There wasn't enough clearance for it to just slide out like it should have. It hung up on that battery, and I didn't know, and so I broke that connector off. So we should be okay, except that connector's not going to work. I'm not going to try to solder it back in, which really stinks because it did come out of that rack unit. But anyway, I'm about to pull that battery off and go from there. Okay, so the battery's out, and as you can tell here, the end of the battery connector is individual wires. So that's the connector it was in the center of the screen, under that like support there. Anyway, it didn't come out cleanly, which is fine with me. I'm not going to put a battery back in it. The newer revisions don't even have a battery, but I'm not putting a battery back in it, so I don't care. So I'm fixing to slide this thing back together. And well, no, let me just turn it on and make sure it works. Okay, so now the battery's out, and I'm gonna plug it up to USB-C power to see what happens. And we got lights. And we've got Ubiquiti on the screen, and that's a good sign, because before all it would do would be flash. So looks like it's booting. Yay, that's what I wanted. So I'm going to put the guts back in, and yeah, I'll call it a day. Hopefully the really stinks that I broke that off, but I'm not gonna try to solder that. I mean, it ain't worth it. That thing's neat and nice looking, but I just need the thing functional now, and these are out of production and out of support, really. So I just needed to get it up and get it useful, get a good backup of it. I think I'll be able to do that. It's even saying Ethernet disconnected, so I think it'll be good. Okay, so this cable, I'm just gonna go ahead and remove it, because all it does is connect the board to that thing here. And just FYI, that connector in there, as you can see, is like snapped and glued in there. I'm not gonna try that. I just want functional at this point. So I'm gonna take this out, put the thing back together. So an interesting last thing about this. So I told you I didn't care about the port on the front, so it didn't matter. I was just gonna slide it back, the Cloudkey back into the rack module, and use it as is. Well, the Cloudkey actually mounts in here upside down when it's in the rack. And apparently when it's plugged into this rack unit, it flips the display upside down. So when I put it back in the rack, and powered it up, I noticed that the display's upside down. So now I'm actually going to put it in backwards, or excuse me, upside down, which you can see now the logo to the original Cloudkey is showing. Well, that's kind of redneck, but at least the display will be right. So back in the rack, you can see my unit's functional, and even though the screen's wonky, works. And that port's not going to be good anymore because I botched that connector, but I'm just using the port on the back of the Cloudkey anyway. But now back up and running. And I'll probably just leave it like this, get me a good backup. And I don't know, we might replace it with something newer, but this is all we need, so let it roll.